Hi, I'm Marianne Murciano with Fox Thing in the Morning. You're listening to Chicagoland Radio Information Service, better known as CRIS Radio.
Good afternoon, I'm Joe Tolstoy, and this is the Chicago Defender for today, Wednesday, June 17th, 1998. This reading is underwritten by the Gannett Communities Fund. Our top story is, over 300,000 cheer Bulls at Grant Park Rally. This article is by Larry Gross. The Joy of Six, championships that is, was celebrated Tuesday in Grant Park. A record crowd of more than 300,000 jammed in the Petrillo band shell to salute the Bulls for winning their 6th NBA championship in the last 8 seasons. The celebration was truly a love affair between a city and its professional basketball team, which has transformed a city formerly known for its losing sports teams to a winning one. The crowd came early, many before the sun rose, and stayed late, well after the rally was over. Packed shoulder to shoulder, the crowd cheered loudly, and although the team arrived about a half hour late from the Berto Center in Deerfield for the rally, they received a thunderous ovation when they were introduced by United Center public address announcer Ray Clay. The crowd also saluted the team with chants of one more year. However, it still remains a big question whether the very same Bulls team will be returning for next season. Head coach Phil Jackson thanked his coaches, family, and the Bulls organization. He said when Bulls general manager Jerry Krause called him last summer and asked if the Bulls could do it again, "Could we do it again?" I said yes. I believed in these guys. This was our last dance, and it was a wonderful waltz, a somewhat subdued Jackson told the crowd. The largest cheers from the crowd were saved for superstars Scottie and Michael Jordan, both of whom will become unrestricted free agents on July 1st. Pippen thanked the Bulls and the fans for 11 glorious seasons. "It's been a great run," Pippen said. "Thank you for our last dance." Jordan, who just finished a one-year contract, also was somewhat pessimistic about a return to the team for the 1998-99 season. "My heart, my soul, and my love belongs to the city of Chicago," Jordan said. "No matter what happens, my soul and love will still be in the city of Chicago." Nobody knows if we're going to be back in Grant Park next year. The two men who will make the decision on next season's Bulls team, owner Jerry Reinsdorf, skipped the ceremonies while Krause was on stage with Mayor Daley, Governor Edgar, team officials, and Bulls family members, but did not speak to the crowd. It was left to the flamboyant Dennis Rodman to bring some comedy to the celebration. Rodman told the crowd that if he had to marry anyone, it would be his 12 teammates. In speaking to the crowd, guard Steve Kerr told of Jordan's game-winning shot in Sunday's 87-86 title-clinching win in Utah. Coach Jackson said, "Give the ball to Michael and get the hell out of his way," Kerr said. Guard Ron Harper said, "It is a last dance, and it was a great one." And that was from the article entitled Over 300,000 Cheer Bulls at Grant Park Rally. That was by Larry Gross. Our second article is entitled Jordan Has Buried Al Capone Image. It's by Shinta Strasberg. Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce President Jerry Roper Tuesday credited Michael Jordan with burying the infamous Al Capone image while boosting Chicago's economy. While Bulls coach Phil Jackson and his team appear not to be on the same page as if they'll return next year for another dance, Roper emphatically said Jordan must stay and that he's a super image maker who's very good for business. He has moved aside Al Capone, finally putting him in his grave. Even though he's been dead and gone a long time ago, Michael put him in his grave and covered him up. Both Mayor Daley and the late Mayor Harold Washington complained about the image many tourists and people around the world had of Chicago, that of a rat-a-tat town from the infamous Al Capone days. Daley had the old Lexington Hotel at 22nd and Michigan Avenue, once Capone headquarters, demolished. Roper credited Jordan with doing what no one has been able to do, erase the negative image of Capone, replacing it with a super sports image worldwide. Michael has single-handedly helped position Chicago as a great sports city around the world, Roper said. I absolutely want him to stay. If Michael Jordan decides to retire, the only job he should have is mine, and I'm willing to give it up to Michael Jordan. Roper told the Chicago Defender. The Bulls have been very good for the economy of Chicago because this team has generated between $8 million to $10 million per game, both direct and induced, Roper said. When you're sitting at home with 6 of your friends and ordering in food and drinks out of 8 million people in the region are spending almost $10 per person per game, or about 8 million just there. And when you take a look at what happens at the stadium with the selling of Bulls souvenirs, salaries, and what's purchased at the stadium, you're looking at another 1.5 million. The dollar impact is huge, but what we can't measure are the intangibles, what Michael Jordan has done for our city and our region. And that was from the article entitled, Jordan Has Buried Al Capone Image. In our next article, the headline is, Poorer Areas Business Life Can Thrive. The subheading is, Study Looks at Business Potential of Low-Income Neighborhoods in City. And this article is by Dahlia Dangerfield. South and west sides of Chicago have the potential to thrive with a booming business life, according to a study released Tuesday. Revitalizing the inner city requires an economic strategy to build viable business that can provide attractive employment opportunities, said Harvard Business School professor Michael Porter, who presented the argument in an article in the Harvard Business Review 3 years ago. According to the report, strategies for business growth in Chicago's low-income neighborhoods, more than 25,000 jobs could be created or retained in or near several predominantly minority-inhabited areas, where families have an average income of $20,800. The key to uplifting the economy in the neighborhood is to increase access to employment and business ownership, the study read. Reinvestment in low-income communities will help manage growth at the outer edges of the metropolitan region and will help address the social and economic disparities that undermine the long-term health of the regional economy, said Mary Sue Barrett, president of the Metropolitan Planning Council. The report, which examined areas where there was an official unemployment rate of 16%, said the jobs could be created in 4 key industries: manufacturing, transportation, retail, and commercial services. These areas already represent high level of employment for the areas the study showed. But many entrepreneurs are scared to build businesses in crime-ridden areas. They are also concerned about the lack of skills that employees from the area would have. But according to the study, there are key strengths to businesses in the area. Advantages include the proximity to downtown business districts and public transportation, a diverse workforce, and great consumer demand, the report read. The study also proposed ways to expand business-to-business operations in the neighborhoods and uncovered a gap of almost $600 million between consumer demand and consumer supply in the retail sector. There are about 10,000 retail jobs that could be created or kept in low-income areas, the study read. Economic development in inner cities will only come from recognizing the potential advantages of an inner-city location and building on the base of existing companies, while dealing frontally with the present disadvantages of inner cities as business locations, Porter said. These problems aren't exclusive to Chicago, he said. We have found similar market forces at work in each study community, Porter said. In every case, we construct action-oriented strategies to expand inner-city business clusters based upon the existing and potential competitive advantages found. Porter will present the study and his argument today at a luncheon. Chicago's Department of Planning and Development Commissioner Christopher Hill, president of the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, and Barrett are scheduled to join Porter in speaking about these findings at the University of Chicago Gleacher Center Tuesday afternoon. The study provides businesses with compelling reasons to look objectively at the risks and opportunities in these lower-income neighborhoods, said Dean Nelson, a vice president of the Boston Consulting Group, also known as the BCG. The study, issued by the Initiative for a Competitive Inner City and the Chicago office of BCG, suggested that there is an increase in the supply of sites for industrial companies, an establishing of a Chicago-based railroad training program, and increasing retail activity. And that once again was the article entitled Poor Areas Business Life Can Thrive. This concludes this edition of the Chicago Defender, brought to you by the Gannett Communities Fund. I'm Joe Tolstoy, our engineer has been Scott Pastorino, and our producer has been Brian Olchuk. Stay tuned for the Daily Herald next on CRIS, your information station.